As we celebrate Veterans Day, we take a closer look at area women honored for their service.
Nearly 11,000 women were stationed in Vietnam during the war, nearly all of them volunteers. 90% were military nurses. Among them, a Quad City woman who was determined to make a difference as a woman of war.
My name is Donna Johnson, and I was a nurse at the 12th Evac Hospital located in Cu Chi, Vietnam.
As a young girl, Donna dreamed of helping others, but she could not have imagined then the nightmares of Vietnam.
It was quite an experience. I was only 23 years old, so we had only been out of nurses training about a year. And I worked the emergency room there, so we got the casualties directly off of the helicopters to take care of, gave them emergency care and sent them on into the surgery or intensive care or wherever they needed to go.
The team worked night and day trying to save as many lives as they could as the war raged all around them.
One time we had been in bed and the mortar started coming in, and so we just had on like a house coat and had our hair in rollers and things like that, and we didn't have time to even put our fatigues back on, so we just ran over to the hospital and took care of the patients just the way we were. So we did what we could, what we had to do.
The young nurse found herself forced to make life and death decisions, all in a matter of seconds.
Sometimes we would get 50, 60 patients in at the same time, soldiers in at the same time, and you had to triage them, which is not an easy task.
Choose who gets treated first,
right?
Knowing that some may not survive the wait.
Right. It was either who you could take care of right now and if they had a good chance, and who you just felt like there was no way that you could save them anyway, so you took the ones that you felt that you could really save. Decisions
that would stay with her for the rest of her life.
When you're 23, you don't think a lot about death type thing. And when you're there in the middle of it, you realize how valuable human life is, and that each of these young men had a mother and a dad. This is hard.
50 years have passed, the painful memories still so vivid, but Donna is still serving. For the past several years, she has worked with the Honor Flight, sending veterans to Washington, D.C. Only on this flight, she'll be there too, as part of the first full flight of Vietnam veterans.
It really feels strange to be on this side of the fence, and it feels wonderful. And I'm looking forward to bonding with some of the other Vietnam veterans. And I'm sure there's a lot of names on that wall that I took care of. I don't know what else to say.
After the emotions of the visit to the wall, she returns to the Women's Memorial in Arlington.
It's great. It's great. It's to have a whole museum just for women is really wonderful.
A place where so many stories, including her own, are recorded and shared. You represent so many women that have given so much that are often not recognized.
That's right, and I wish that more of them could have been here today. I don't know how many Vietnam women actually are in the Quad City area, but it would have been nice if there could have been more women here today.
But a surprise is waiting this time.
Hey, how are you? How are you? Good to see you.
A chance meeting with the retired Brigadier General who was instrumental in establishing this site.
But you were the ones who did the most, without any question.
It was a team effort.
And that's true of World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. The nurses are the ones.
And as the day comes to a close, perhaps the biggest honor is waiting for her back at home, where this long emotional day of healing began, where a community gathered 2,000 strong to give her a thank you she could have never imagined.
Absolutely fantastic. It was more overwhelming than I had even expected.
And as she slowly makes her way through the sea of flags, handshakes, and tributes from people she doesn't know.
And the little kids, I love it. I love it, the little signs that they make, and they're so happy when you tell them you like their sign. They just love that. It's really wonderful.
One more surprise. Familiar faces, lots of familiar faces. Neighbors, family, and friends all surround her. A day a long time coming, a day that will stay with her forever.
The whole day was perfect and couldn't have asked for anything better. It was one of the best days of my whole life.
And this Veterans Day weekend, we are proud to bring you a TV6 primetime special. We take you along with the first full flight of Vietnam veterans as they go on that honor flight. From the emotional moments at the Vietnam Wall to the welcome home that you just saw, just a portion of there, 50 years later. Don't miss Honor Flight Vietnam commercial free. That is this Saturday night at 6:30.